Let him stumble, let him fail. It's important. It's important to the development, finding out who he is in the game, finding out what he needs to do, and then help him understand why.
Ardiaga drives one to center. Miller hustling over. Diving catch by Ian Miller. A great catch.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Nine Hole Podcast. This is your host, Ian Miller. Man, we've had some pretty special guests so far in 2024. It's been awesome to kind of chop it up a little bit on solo episodes. It's been great to have guests on. And today we're going to keep with the theme of having it be a solo episode. So yesterday I was fortunate enough to have John Sheehan on, who is the head coach at Millersville University. Um, the Millersville Marauders, they are a Division II program in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and they are a top ranked program consistently. So John Sheehan is in his 17th season at the helm, being the skipper over there, leading that program. And some stuff came up, some questions came up. I wanted to ask him about kind of the process, how the recruiting process went, and man, he brought up how parents can negatively impact the recruiting process. They can negatively influence the recruiting game. They can have a detrimental uh, part of it not working out, right? They can have a positive influence or it could be a negative influence. And so I wanted to take a little time today. I wanted to dive into how a parent can impact their son's career. Now, obviously, man, I'm talking from experience, right? I grew up in the game. I hit every single level, from little league to the big leagues, and my mom was with me literally every step of the way. And so I have somewhat of an understanding. Now I'm a father as well. I have an understanding of how support or lack thereof, or any type of influence, whether it be positive or negative, can affect your son's career. And I am specifically talking to baseball, kind of relating it to off the field stuff, on the field stuff, and just kind of throwing in my own personal, stories, opinions, facts in there, man. And just trying to provide a positive message, maybe shed some light on some stuff for the coaches and the parents of the younger players, man, before they even get into you know uh the NCAA ranks, man. They're extremely impressionable. Obviously, everybody's trying to find their way, and baseball is either it's a passion or it's an outlet, however you want to look at it. But um, man, first I wanted to just lead off with a story. And Millersville, I was committed to go there out of high school. It was a school that was relatively close to where I grew up, where I was at, where my mom lived, where my family lived. And so for me, that was pretty cool. The Division II school, it wasn't as reputable at the time. They didn't have quite have the success that they have now. And so I felt as though maybe I was playing it a little safe, right? I really wanted to play Division I baseball. I had committed, actually signed a national letter of intent to go to Millersville, and last second, this is me. This is an 18-year-old kid. Like, no, what am I doing? My mom had to bail me out. My mom had to. I had no responsibility at that time. I really didn't know what I was doing. Wasn't good on the phone. Couldn't call, do emails and stuff. My mom had to take care of it. My mom bailed me out of this situation. It wasn't a negative situation. I had a change of heart, a change of mind, and so she had, man, she swept in. She saved the day. She had to pull some strings. She had to jump through some hoops. But I wanted to kind of like lead off, I guess, prelude. I don't even know what the word is, but I wanted to start off there because I've obviously had some positive experiences, with my family in the game of baseball, specifically my mom, and it had a tremendous impact on my career, how I look at stuff, how I deal with things, especially failure, especially adversity, my attitude on and off the field, how I treat other people, and then like the opportunities that I've had have come obviously from my mother and the way that I was raised and brought up in the game, how I carry myself on and off the field, man. So I wanted to dive into it. I wanted to touch on three things. The main three things that I'm going to talk about today are how a parent or how parents can impact their son's attitude on and off the field, both negatively and positively. How parents can impact the way that their son handles or does not handle adversity. We talked about adversity before, but I want to dive into it a little bit more on the parent side and see maybe where the cause and effect is coming into play. And then lastly, I want to touch on how a parent can impact or influence their son's opportunities in the game. And this looks like a couple different ways, man, but it all kind of ties back maybe to making it about yourself, not making it about your son, about your kid, about him playing the game, about him having fun, about him developing. And so we'll dive into that, man. We'll dive into that. First off, man, we'll touch on how a parent impacts their son's attitude, their student athlete, their baseball player's attitude on and off the field, right? Where are these traits learned? Where's anything learned from? If you're a young player, if you're a young athlete, young student athlete, you're probably going to be learning the majority of the shit that, the way you go about your business, anything, you get that from your parents. You inherit it, you learn it from your parents. You see how they carry themselves, you see how they deal with failure, you see how they, carry themselves with people below them, above them, authority figures, all that stuff, right? Your values and your career, in your character, excuse me, your values and your character are passed down to your son. So he's going to see, man, are you a hard worker? Do you make excuses? Do you get after it in your professional life or when you have some downtime? Or are you just kind of like a fat slob that just, is drinking a beer on the couch, even when you're on the clock, like, or you shy away from some hard stuff, man? You make excuses. Hey, dad, like, can we go play some catch or something? And you make some excuses while you're out of there, man. That's bad news, right? Your son's probably going to eat that up. Your son's probably going to inherit that, whether you are aware of that, whether you want that to happen or not. But that's where I learned it from, right? Man, I'm just going to specifically speak on my mom at least around the game of baseball. Um, Man, I saw like how she went about her business, how she carried herself, the respect she treated others with. I learned, the yes sir, no sir thing from my mom, right? Treating my coaches and authority figures with respect. I was in trouble a lot when I was younger. My parents had some issues where they were in the process of being separated, getting a divorce when my dad passed away. Obviously, that can lead to a whole lot of like question marks, behavioral issues, however you want to say it. But I learned respect. I inherited that at least, from my mother, discipline, being a good teammate. Like I said, the yes sir, no sir aspect of things, man, you learn respect. You have a huge impact on the attitude on and off the field. You get that from the parents. Entitlement's a big one. Entitlement is a big one. So parents are going to pay 5 grand, 5 G's for a travel ball team. But that doesn't mean your kid's going to be the next Bryce Harper. It does not mean your kid is going to be the starting shortstop because you're paying 5 G's for your kid to play a 30-game travel ball season. That does not automatically mean he's going to make the school varsity team and be the starting shortstop. Um, d- Speaking of entitlement, like, does your kid get their way on everything? Do they have a golden path just laid out to them? You know what I mean? There's no branches or shrubbery in the way on that path, right? That's going to brush them, knock them down, make them kind of divert path, figure the way around something, right? Is it all just laid out for them, man? Like, where does hunger come from? Where does hunger come from? Hunger comes from not having. Hunger comes from being without. How can somebody be hungry and motivated when everything is just given to them, handed to them? They don't have to like learn the way of hard work. They don't have to learn that like this takes effort, right? That's something that I've had teammates grow up. They got the nicest shit. They got the nicest bats. They got the nicest gloves. But these motherfuckers aren't running down the line. They know that if they rip their pair of batting gloves because they're upset, they just got ah, this umpire just rung me. That was a ball. I know it. Let me go back to the dugout and fucking rip my batting gloves. And you know that daddy's gonna buy you a brand new pair of batting gloves. Those things aren't cheap, dude. Those are not cheap. Those are not cheap. Entitlement is another big thing when it comes to attitude on and off the field. Huge, huge. If the parents aren't involved at all, right? If they aren't excited about baseball, how is your kid going to be excited about baseball? If the parents aren't excited about being involved in it, encouraging, promoting, positivity, man, like what do you think your son's going to do when it comes to his character on or off the field? How's he going to carry himself on or off the field? If you take your son to a hitting lesson, right, or a camp or whatever it is, you take them to the hitting facility that you're paying $100 an hour for, and you just fucking drop them off and say, "Yo, good luck, big dog," out of there. Like, what your son's gonna be all in, dude? Come on. How do you think it works in a baseball game as well, man? Your son, the attitude, your baseball player, however you want to say it, your son's baseball career, how he handles himself on and off the field, attitude wise, is going to be a direct reflection of you, right? So he's going to mirror the values that you pass down, that you portray, that you show him on a daily basis, especially your attitude towards others, others, how you treat people of the same stature, maybe below you, above you, authority figures. Like that teaches him how to be a good teammate, or lack thereof, how to be a shitty teammate, how to be selfish, how to be entitled, man. You don't do that. Please don't do that. I needed to hustle. I was a hustler, right? And I'm not saying like I don't even know what the alternative of that word means, but I was a hustler. When I put the ball in play, I fucking sprinted down to first base. That's how I ate. That's how I learned. That's how I grew up. I needed to hustle, and I understood the value of hustle. I understood what it could do for me. I was hungry early. I was hungry early. I understood the value of hustle. I understood what the value of trying and kind of giving your all looked like, what the value of that was, what it could do for you. And, I reaped those benefits. That's what it was. Yeah, that was instilled in me early. And yeah, my mom did that. Positivity. So how do the parents of the players, of said player, how do the parents treat baseball? Is it fun? Is it fun? Do your Okay, so you are a travel ball parent. You are an elite travel ball parent. Is it fun? Is it a fucking chore to drive your kid to these tournaments? I mean, how do you portray that, man? Is it fun? Is there fun around it? Do you guys like make a day out of it, or is it just like, all right, shit, I got 6 hours until this shit's over. I got another 30-minute drive home after that. This is brute, but like I'll get through it. Like of course your kid's gonna see that, man. Car rides, excitement, music. Like I vividly remember, like, this is the stuff I remember. I don't remember the stats tied to these games, but I remember like my mom would drive me to every single game, and my brother. Like she would double duty. She would do the double parent thing, man. Split time between games if she absolutely had to. But I remember the atmosphere going to my practices, or the car rides going to my baseball games, man. We would be fucking bumping music. It would be a good time. Be a good time. It'd be a good song, hit repeat over. Like it's just how it was, man. It was fun. It was a fun atmosphere around it. It was a fun atmosphere around it. And guess what happened if I went 0 for 4 or if I went 4 for 4? Like I got back in the car and we drove home and we did the same thing, man. It was fun. It was fun. And like those are the things that I remember. So I had a positive connotation tied around that. Like that whole experience. That was fun for me. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to get in the car. Oh, dude, the road trip's 45 minutes away. Let's put on some music. I'm on the aux. You know what I mean? Like it was just fun tied to it. And whether I was in a fucking huge slump or whether I was hot, man, I was looking forward to it. That's awesome. And so like that stuck with me in pro ball. I love the bus rides. I love those. Like I'm not saying I loved getting up at like 2:30 or 3 a.m. for uh PCL travel, but like I love the long trips, man. It's awesome. Felt like it brought me back to when I was growing up, man. It's awesome. That's a great way that you can honestly, impact the attitude on and off the field, at least around baseball, heading to baseball, the process of baseball, baseball season, baseball development. Make it fun, man. Little things like the car rides, man. You can spice up the car rides and make that shit fire, dude. Fire. The way their son handles adversity. So parents have a direct impact on how their son handles adversity. Does your son Does your baseball player son tuck tail when he's slumping or when things aren't going his way, or does he stick him up and fight? Does he tough through it, right? Does he put his head down and work? Where did he learn to shy away from hard times? Where did your son learn how to just, like, put your head down and work? Put their head down and work, just push through it. I mean, they learn that from the parents, man. They learn that from the baseball parents. They learn that maybe from the coach, whoever's their coach. Like, they are learning, they're ingesting all this information, and they are mirroring it, and they're taking what works for them, what doesn't work for them. Maybe they're even taking, like, what they have to. They don't see it a different way. So if you are a giant pansy when it comes to getting, you know, dealing with tough stuff, you shrivel up into a raisin, when tax time comes around, or when, your job's not going well, and your son sees that, and he's got a doubleheader this weekend against an elite travel ball team, and he's a little nervous because these guys throw 80 plus. What do you think he's gonna do? Especially if he starts the game 0 for 2, 0 for 3. He's got no chance in that second game of the doubleheader, man. He's gonna learn that. He's gonna learn to shy away from hard times from the parents. He's gonna see that, man. So if this comes back kind of to the entitlement thing as well, like, if everything has been given to him and rewarded to him with no struggles, how is he gonna learn? How is he gonna learn the value of hard work? How is he gonna learn the value of anything, the value of any of the gear that he gets? Dude, cleats are expensive. Cleats are expensive. Batting gloves are expensive. You can go through those shits like chopsticks, dude. Those things can those are I know those are expensive. I know those are expensive. I know bats are expensive. And they just keep getting crazier. Gloves, man? Come on. How is your son ever going to know the value of that stuff if he doesn't appreciate it, if he doesn't understand, like, hard work, sacrifice, hustle? Man, if you don't understand that stuff, if you're entitled, just everything's given to him, just hands out, give it to him, man. Golden path, it's got no chance, man. It's got no chance. So how would parents or coaches of young players navigate this type of adversity? Like, what is that athlete or that kid? What is your kid going through? When there is some sort of adversity on the field, or surrounding the baseball process when you're young, man. The adversity is literally uncertainty. The adversity is fear, doubt, embarrassment. They're scared. They don't want to fail. They don't want to let anybody down, right? Maybe they feel like there's some added pressure at home. Is it fun? Should they better make the team because all the money you're spending on travel ball and shit. Like, there could be added pressure there, man. There was I didn't necessarily play like elite travel ball. I got an opportunity probably my last year in high school. I really was not. I played some Legion, got cut from Legion as well. Played local, little league, all that shit. So I didn't necessarily. There wasn't a huge amount of pressure on me, man. I showed up and I played and I had fun. That's what it was. There was always a positive energy, positive connotation I had with baseball because there wasn't an insurmountable amount of pressure on me. My mom didn't, make it rain 5 Gs for me to play on this team over and over and over again. So I better show up and show out to make it all worth it. That wasn't my experience, man. So, like, why would that? How is that going to how is that going to enable a kid to kind of rise up and show out, man? I think that's preposterous. It's preposterous. So, parents, in my opinion, in my journey, in my experience, in my in my expert opinion, I should say. Here we go. Parents need to help their sons, their baseball players, their kids that play baseball that maybe want to further their development, further their career. Parents need to help their sons understand that failure is necessary. It's necessary, man. It is a tool on the journey. It's a tool on the baseball journey. It is a tool to help you progress. It will propel you forward because this is important. You need to help them understand why. You are going to be able to take that failure. You're going to be able to learn from it. You're going to be able to take it and implement it into a new process, maybe refine it, make it a little bit better, but that needs to be understood. That needs to be taught. that needs to be taught. It needs to be properly explained. Maybe you fuck around and relate your own stories and your own struggles into it. You know, I never really got that opportunity with my old man. It's something maybe that I would have loved to have done, but my mom was there for it, right? Man, how's he going to learn if it doesn't get hard, right? Failure is necessary and it's a tool on the journey. It is necessary in order to progress. I think it is important when you're trying to teach them that failure is a necessary tool on the journey to development. I think a great way to be able to verbalize this, to be able to show them this is a simple equation. I can't take credit for this. I did not come up with it. It's something that I learned. But volume times time equals skill. And this is big time when it comes to failure. This is big when it comes to adversity, like why. Helping them understand why. Volume times time equals skill. So the amount of time that you do something, you spend working on something, and the amount of times that you do it, right? So it's like I'm going to go hit for 30 minutes, but I'm going to do that X amount of times during the week or during the month or whatever it is. Like volume times time, how much time you spend on it, how many reps, how many times you do it is going to eventually equate to skill. So it's like, hey, man, you didn't make this team. You didn't make this team, but like, what'd you do in the off season? What'd you do during the summer? What'd you do during the summer? You stayed indoors. You were playing video games. You know, you went to bed. You went to bed at 2 a.m. and you woke up at noon every day, and like the morning's already. You know what I mean? Like it's volume times time equals skill. That could be a great way of breaking it down for them, helping them understand it a little bit more. Like, hey, you refine the process, refine it. You take that failure and you chip away at it. Let's. You didn't fail on everything. You didn't fail on everything. Maybe there was a part of your game that is lacking. Maybe there's a part of your game that the coach couldn't trust putting you out there. Yeah, you're a shortstop, dude. You're a shortstop. Maybe you're not a shortstop. Maybe you shouldn't play the most demanding spot in the infield, right? Maybe we move you to an outfield and we help you with your reads or something like that. Maybe we get your bat up to speed, right? Maybe we kind of refine the process and just chip away at it. But like I think it's important that the kids understand that and understand the reasoning behind. Help them build that routine, maybe help them build a process and then understand the why behind it. Hey dude, you fucking stink with the glove. You don't have to be outright like that. I get it. But hey, dude, your glove's lacking. Why? You're afraid of the ball. You're not going to get in front of it. You want to play shortstop? You want to bat leadoff and play shortstop, the best position on the field? Dude, you're Olay shit when the ground ball gets hit to you, right? You can't even knock the ball down. It's trickling into the gap whenever a ground ball's hit to you. You know, maybe we help you understand why and maybe, start building a routine, get the confidence up. But like that failure because you got cut because your glove stinks, you're afraid of the ball, like I get it. Help them understand why. Help them build a process moving forward. Be encouraging and just help them push through it, man. Be part of the process. Don't necessarily have to force it all on them, but like this is about him and his development. Help him out. Be a tool there, man. That could be fantastic. You c as a parent or as a coach to these younger kids, right? You can help get your son through the adversity on or surrounding the field by encouragement, by positively, by encouragement, positivity, and having fun. So encouragement, man. My mom was a baseball mom growing up, right? My old man played for a little bit. I played. My brother played, and so my mom, she was great. She was at every game. She always paid attention, but she didn't quite understand the rules. It's tough, dude. It's tough. Baseball's also kind of boring. I get it, man. It's tough to pay attention all the time. So whether I lined out or whether I got a ground ball and it was an error, but I got on base, or like I grounded out 4 times, my mom always said, "Hey, nice hit, like nice hits." Mom, I went 0 for 4. Yeah, but you had 4 good hits. Like that doesn't help me, but like it really does. It's encouragement. Yeah, nice hits. That's the last thing that I necessarily wanted to hear, right? Nice hits, mom. I fucking went 0 for 4 with 4 rollovers, but like I ran my ass down to first base and I made it bang bang. You know what I mean? That's what she's there for. Nice hit. You almost got on. You know that's cool. That's cool. having that encouragement, having that encouraging environment, even if you don't necessarily know, but just thinking like it's cool. Like, hey man, made some nice plays out in the outfield. Yeah, but I went over 4. Yeah, but made some nice plays out there. Like, what's the path forward now? Now what? Now what? Like, there's always positivity is going to be next, right? There's always encouragement to be had. There's always some sort of positivity that could surround, the outing, the performance, even if it was a negative one, man. The half full versus half empty type, mindset. Man, be an optimist. Why not? If you can choose, why not be an optimist? Why not encourage? There's this thing, Jocko Willink, I think his name is. He's a big Navy SEAL, crazy dude, badass dude. He's got this thing on YouTube. It's called Good. So he does this bit where like he's like, all right, we get deployed and our helicopter gets shot down. Good. Now we get to know what we're made of, or uh, one of my guys got shot in the leg. Good. Now I can carry him on my back and show him how much I got his back. Like little shit like that. Always seeing like the positive side of it. Even if you have to trick fuck yourself into seeing the positive side of it, dude, you'll eventually see it. And having that encouragement on your son, especially around the game of baseball where there's so much failure, dude, can only help. Can only help. It's got to be fun for you as well, the parent, the coach. My mom, like I said, was at every game. She had 2 kids, right? Me and my brother, and sometimes we'd be playing at the same time in different like fields, not necessarily different cities, but I mean, she'd split the games. Even if the results aren't there, your kids, your son, they'll remember the times, not the results. I mentioned I had a positive connotation on the rides to the games. We'd be blaring music. Same after the game. Ride home, blaring music. I always remembered the positive. Always remember that. It was always a positive experience. So it's like, man, I couldn't wait to go to the next game. Yeah, you know what? I'm over my last 12, but like it's gonna be a fucking blast getting there. That's cool. That's cool. I think that can have a big time positive effect. Lastly, parents can affect their sons' opportunities in the game of baseball. And this is without a doubt true. This might be crazy, but you have a direct impact on your son and the opportunities that he has in this game. I had John Sheehan on yesterday talking about the recruiting process and how parents can absolutely fuck it up. Get into that here in a minute, but let's think about just right off the bat. We talked about the attitude, we talked about the adversity, but if your son can't operate, with respect, if your son has an absolute lack of respect, if your son is entitled, where does he get that from? Where does he get that from? When your son absolutely shrivels up into a raisin and crumbles when the going gets tough, where do you think he gets that from? Where do you learn that from? He didn't learn it from TV. There's superheroes on TV and shit. He gets that at home, right? He learns that from you. If they operate with a, no respect, if there's just an absolute lack of respect, if there's entitlement, if he's a cookie crumbler when the times get hard, man, that is going to affect his opportunities in the game. That is you, the parents, affecting the opportunities that he has in the game indirectly, consciously or unconsciously. If you're always bitching and complaining, you're always making excuses, you're not, pushing through adversity on your own, you have a lack of respect, you don't treat other people right, you're entitled, like what do you think your kid's going to do? And then what do you think your kid's going to do when he has some adversity or some failure on the field or shit's not going his way because he's so entitled? It's the golden boy, the golden path, gets everything he wants. Phew. Good luck hitting the curveball. Make them understand early that grown man shit is not fair. There's nepotism, there's cliques, people play favorites, there's travel ball buds, man. You're either going to have to teach them, show them, or else they're going to learn by experience, and that sucks, man. That's something I always felt that I dealt with, whether it was, in football or whether it was in baseball, man. I got cut from a couple teams fucking playing baseball. It is what it is. And the same ones shouted me out when I made it to the big leagues, right? Oh yeah. alumni, Ian Miller. Like, dude, you cut me from the team, right? There were kids on the team that were on the travel ball team that the coach was running, and I didn't pay for travel ball. We didn't do that. I was playing some other sport. I was playing football or basketball. I can't pay for travel ball. You know what I mean? So I got penalized for that. And like, dude, I get it. Nepotism, clicks, coaches playing their sons, coaches playing favorites. I get it. You're going to have to deal with that, and it sucks. But like, eventually, you're going to get to a spot where winning matters. Yeah, and if you haven't dealt with it, I mean, you're going to have to learn it. Don't be the second coach at games. Encourage, but don't overstep. Don't be selfish and make it all about you. This is something that I've never had to experience personally, but I've seen it happen where a dad will be like, "Hey, you know what? I'm not going to coach my kid this year. It's my first year not coaching my kid." So he's, of course, he's up on the chain link fence, front row for every pitch, every inning, every strike, whatever it is, and you can hear him chirping. Dude, that is the last thing, that a son wants to have to deal with. Parents chirping. That's just embarrassing, dude. You don't want to do that, man. Make it fun. Make it be encouraging. Make it fun. Make the whole process fun, and help them understand why. But don't be a dick. Don't make it about you, right? You're not here to propel and further your career, right? Your son's trying to have some fun. Maybe find out who he is. Maybe find out his place in the game. Like, be there for him, right? It's not about you. It's not about you. Don't be the second coach at games. Recruiting process. This is big. Touched on this with John Sheehan yesterday, man. John said, "I want relentless players, not relentless coaches." Nah, he didn't say that. I fucked that up so bad. John said, "I want relentless players, not relentless parents." So I opened up with a little story about my decommitment from Millersville, right? My mom had to step in. Let's think about it on the flip side. So Coach Sheehan over at Millersville is going to be recruiting the top players in the area. He is a top program. 16 years at the helm. He's in his 17th season of being a top Division II program. Like, he wants relentless players. He wants players that bust their ass on the field, that are the first ones in the weight room. They want to compete against everybody. They want to fucking crush you. They want to beat you, right? He wants relentlessness on the field. He doesn't necessarily want relentless parents, man. So if you have to send an email out on, "Hey, why isn't my kid playing?" Or, "Hey, my kid's good. Let me get him a full scholarship. Let's guarantee him this playing time," that, and it's like, dude, that coach, his ability to feed his family rests on the wins and losses, the winning percentage, right? The status of the team, where they finish. That's how it goes, man. So, like, your opinions, the entitlement, that the ideas that you have of greatness and success for your kid, that's been spoon fed his whole life on the golden path, that shit's out the window once you get into the college ranks, where winning matters. When winning matters and the favorites aren't played, the nepotism's gone. It comes down to wins and losses, right? So being a relentless parent in that aspect is going to potentially hurt your kid in the recruiting game. If you need to send out an email every single day on why your kid's the best, on why he should get this scholarship over somebody else, maybe putting other people down, maybe demanding that he gets certain playing time his freshman year, or a certain percentage of a scholar, like, whatever it is, that is negative, and that will definitely impact your son's chances, your son's opportunities in the game. Do not do that. Like I said, my mom had my back, and I was always confident knowing that I had a parent that cared, who had fun surrounding the game and wanted the best for me and was always going to have my back, right? That made me confident. But she was going to be my last line of defense, not the leadoff hitter. She was going to be the person that I went to in a no shit moment. "Ma, I can't handle this. I don't know how to get out of this. I'm in too deep," as opposed to, "Hey, Ma, I got cut. I need you to go fucking talk to coach and say, hey, what's going on here?" You know what I mean? Like, hey, Ma, I fucked up. I need your help here. I would go to my mom as a last resort, last defense. I can't clean this up. As opposed to, "Hey, uh, Mom, Coach John said that I'm the second string left fielder and I'm not going to be batting leadoff. And he's not going to, recommend me for the travel ball team. I need you to go talk to him, and I need you to go put in a good word for," like, that is the worst. That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing you could be doing, man. That's tough there. Like, let your son stumble, let him fail a little bit, let him stumble, let him fail. It's important. It's important to the development, finding out who he is in the game, finding out what he needs to do, and then help him understand why. Don't sugarcoat it. No bullshit. Oh, honey, yeah, I know you Olay stuff. I understand you can't field a ground ball, but you look really good. Like it's great. Like, dude, the encouragement's fantastic. I love it. But at some point, we need to be upfront, and we can't sugarcoat some shit. So let your son stumble, let him fail, and then help him understand why. And then help him build a process to overcome, to improvise and adapt, but don't do it for him, right? So let him stumble, let him fail, help him understand why, and then help him build a process forward. Hey, man, you don't know how to field a ground ball. You're afraid of the ball. That's not good. This is why. Maybe we can attack your weaknesses with these certain drills. Maybe we can try to implement some sort of, thinking differently than what you're doing. Here's why. Here's why you can't be afraid the ball and be a shortstop. Here's why you need to be able to throw the ball across the diamond as a third baseman. You know what I mean? Here's why you need to be able to block the ball and not be afraid of it if you're a catcher. Maybe we need to work on some blocking and fielding stuff. Let's do it. This is the off season. But like you're not gonna know if there's no stumbles, if there's no failure. Help them understand why, help them build a path forward, help build a path and a process to overcome that. Don't do it for them. And surround your son in the game of baseball, no matter the age, man, but especially when they're young with encouragement, positivity, and motivation. Teach them the value of hard work as opposed to serving everything up on a silver platter. Man, that has been my experience in the game of baseball. And like I said, it's gotten me from little league to the big leagues and every single solitary level in between that was instilled in me from an early age. And I benefited greatly from it. I hope I was able to at least shed, a little light on some prominent issues in today's game, especially with the younger players. And man, it starts at home. Starts with the parents, in my opinion. So appreciate everybody tuning in here. I will see you guys again later this week. Take care.